Yes.
Okay, who doesn't know my name?
State it for the record, please.
Who doesn't want to know my name? My name is Alyssa Beck. Okay, we got one hand up, Mr. Johns. Okay. I'm strolling once again in my neighborhood, Monroeville, Pennsylvania, imagining my grandchildren picking pawpaws, apples and pears from the trees in their front yards, eating berries from the raspberry bushes in their side yards, chasing butterflies, and while riding their bicycles, marveling at the abundant green rooftops and solar panels. Yes, Mr. Little, green things can grow on rooftops in Monroeville, everywhere, sharing the overloaded fruit from the trees with neighbors. We have excellent examples of green infrastructure in Monroeville, PA. We have a wonderful farmers market, a compact suburb, an amazing new bike path, mostly in the woods, and by a beautiful body of water called Turtle Creek, great houses of worship, businesses, and a wonderful school district. I want to share something that's come to me recently. I have something here that can help us connect the dots using two very recent and current examples in our municipality of Monroeville, PA. Then I'll go into what's really been going on here in Monroeville, PA, dating back maybe to 2006. Maybe it's been 25 years. I learned recently by attending the Monroeville planning meeting, the property at the corner of Route 22 in Stroshine, I think that's where it is. It was a gas station that had some delay in development recently. As the owner or the prior tenant, the gas station needed to comply with some environmental testing, remediation standards for underground leaks. The developer at the last planning meeting mentioned the lawsuit, although I don't know the details. We're concerned in our community about toxic leaks at gas station sites, as gasoline leaking into the ground pollutes groundwater that we will then drink. We're happy this remediation took place, as far as I know at least. I'm interested in the details. The second point, the second dot, was about the fire department that was brought up, authorizing a controlled burn. There's fires burning in California now. People are inhaling smoke. To do this consciously is unconscionable, in my view. Number 3 dot. The continuing Marcellus and Utica shale fracking gas play in both Monroeville and the 200 square miles slated for seismic testing and where seismic testing is already occurring, including Plum, Penn Township, Penn Hills, Upper and Lower Borough, Pitcairn, Trafford, Oakmont, North Huntington, and more communities, to be mapped underground for Marcellus and Utica shale that have the gas in western Pennsylvania, is a power of 100 order of magnitude of greater concern than this lawsuit that was happening at the gas station in Monroeville on Route 22 for some leaky underground gas tanks mentioned earlier, or the controlled burn. The infrastructure associated with fracking includes large networks of compressor stations, holding ponds, of the retrieved carcinogenic and radioactive frack water, which includes both benzene and toluene, which are volatile organic compounds that would be going into our air, injection wells, something called a pig pen. I learned Monday night it's something like a torpedo they put through the pipes to clean them out. And last but not least, pipelines under very high pressure, much more pressure than the gas lines that currently run through our town of Monroeville, Pennsylvania. We, the citizens of Monroeville, want to see all of the infrastructure-related plans for this 200 square mile area that will be impacting Monroeville. We want to see that from Huntley and Huntley before they make that first application. The gas companies classically make requests of municipalities for one piece at a time. They do it piecemeal. These single pieces do not show the whole toxic nightmare picture. We've demanded the implementation of complete protective seismic testing. Council, we thank you for listening to us at first. Then, Mr. Ratcher, we know you know the ins and outs of the gas industry and their strategies. You did not advise us about the details of the plan of the settlement before settling. You did not include the positive outcome of Geokinetics versus Center Township in the case brief in the lawsuit. Counsel who is following your lead has listened to you. The outcome of the Geokinetics versus Monroeville lawsuit, in my view, is a travesty. Counsel did not have the courage to see this suit through and let it go to court. Mr. Ratcher did not present the positive outcome, like I mentioned, of Geokinetics versus Center Township. Using the smokescreen of settling, which would cost the municipality the $10,000 deductible insurance, pales in comparison to how this brewing monstrosity will cost this region in terms of health and wellness. Wait, disease is good for the healthcare business. I know, I'm in it, but not good for the human spirit or for the tax rolls in Monroeville. The critical pieces of the ordinance were removed. A 50-foot setback virtually allows them to do it anywhere. No pre- and post-testing of our homes and businesses, and the ability for the company from Texas to use our roads. They're free to go ahead with their deed. They are free to seismic trespass underneath where we live. They're paving the way for Huntley and Huntley to frack. We understand the stalling tactics. This is the conclusion, my conclusion, of the dots coming together. The stalling tactics. By not putting a protective seismic testing ordinance in place and by strategically delaying the protective oil and gas ordinance we presented to you, Council, months ago, based on South Fayette, you are effectively leaving the community of people, properties, and businesses wide open to environmental eco-justice and preventing not just Monroeville but all of Western PA from moving forward in the green economy. We all share the same airshed and watershed. We know a completed draft of an updated zoning code regarding oil and gas was to be presented to Council in 2015. We now understand in plain daylight why you have all been claiming you do not understand. We do now understand. We understand the subtle and deep deception of this extractive gas industry, and including how all of you and us have been strung along in this deception and these lies. We understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Ratcher, that you've worked for at least one gas company, and you understand how the system works in favor of extraction. We are shining the light on this darkness. We demand protection from seismic trespass.
Dr. Beck, if you could,
I'm almost done,
please.
New Mayor. I'm almost done. You've got 3 cameras here. Is one of them shining on here? Many of us will have these signs: no trespassing, no seismic testing. Any of use of this property for seismic testing or surveying without our express written permission obtained in advance is defiant trespass under 18 PA CS 3503 and may subject you to criminal liability. We want to protect our council and our community. Thank you. By setting us up to not put the complete ordinance in place that we requested months ago, you're leaving us wide open to the same thing that I believe was just stated earlier.